Hey guys, what's going on? Druzy here, back again with another South Park Phone Destroyer video, and a very exciting video today as we are finally getting to talk about the newest superhero card being added to the game, the Superhero Randy card. Of course, we are talking about Mary Jane Randy. So it is the newest card. Obviously, it's going to be a fighter card similar to many of the other Randys. Of course, there is one Randy that is different, which of course is the Amazingly Randy. But it is a fighter card, 400 base health, 80 base damage, 5 energy cost, which is similar to the other costs, and has a charge ability that spawns a potted plant that will attract surrounding enemies periodically. So it has a periodic effect similar to like Swashbuckler Red that has that attraction kind of thing, but it's not permanent for like a set duration. It'll slowly kind of charge itself, disperse, and then kind of come back, which we'll see in the gameplay of Mary Jane Randy. But this information was kind of leaked a while back, mistakenly, and but this is the actual information that we have of it. Now this is the look of what the plant kind of looks like, or the art for the plant that you'll see on screen here for Mary Jane Randy. And yeah, so obviously with Randy, he kind of does the whole thing. This is kind of a poison ivy kind of effect. That's why you have the whole superheroes persona, also with the Tegrity Farms kind of thing, that he's now a weed you know, farmer and all that stuff within the show. So it kind of ties together as to why this card is the way it is. Now I know a lot of you wanted a different version of Randy to come with instead of this version that we currently are going to be getting from Red Links, but I think this one is unique. I said a long time ago I had a strong feeling that the Randy card would be a unique card that we hadn't seen before, and that's exactly kind of what we got. And we still have the kind of the cross-dressing kind of persona that Randy does in most of his versions, that he's a female instead of obviously for Amazingly Randy he's his male version. But it's unique. I think it's going to be cool, and we're going to get to see some gameplay of Mary Jane Randy and kind of see where it is. But before we get to the gameplay, we're going to check on its stats. So his stats for him as himself, and also his card stats, as they're going to go from 1 to 7 as well. Okay, so quickly we're going to look at Randy's stats. So himself, as you can see, starts at 400, goes to 80. At max 5, which is usually the best percentage of increase, he's going to go to 1309 max HP and 261 attack. So I feel like it's going to be similar to what we have even as an epic card. It's going to be very strong attack, very good HP. I think it's around the same level as Poco Randy. I think it might be a little bit stronger scaling, at least for attack. I think the attack is to the level of 6th Element Randy, which is the legendary version. I think the health scaling is similar to Sexy Nun Randy. I could be wrong, I'm not 100%, but I think those are pretty well in line with those things. And as you can see, he maxes out at 1500 and 300 damage at max 7, which is obviously going to take an extremely long time for someone to get to. Let's quickly look at the plants now. Alright guys, so as we look at the plants, as you can see, the plants have a decent amount of health. So they start at 315 health and lose 7 HP per second. So it's going to do its periodic thing where it's going to be drawing in units, but it's also going to be losing health over time. So even if you're not damaging the plant will still slowly die. I mean, it's still going to take quite a bit of time. But as you can see, once it gets to level 5, 980 health and 23 HP loss per second, it's not going to lose. It's not going to steal HP from another person. It's not doing that. It's just going to be losing its own HP from what it looks like. Then 1177 at level 7 and 26 HP lost there. And then you can see the challenge friendly at the bottom. And the plant is spawned at the same level as Randy, so it's not going to be a higher level. So if your Randy is level 1, then your plant will be level 1 with these stats. So it's not going to scale up or anything like that. It's always going to be the same level as Randy. But now that we've looked at kind of just the baseline stats of the card, let's actually see the card in action. Alright, so looking at Randy's basic attack here, you can see he has a whip animation for the basic attack. And the plant, as you can see, will spawn behind Coon and will lose health over time. Now, some of you obviously will ask, does the plant actually boost Coon? And it does, and you'll see it right here. As he puts all these other units down, you see the boost, but then you see the plant as well, distracting Toolshed, but also giving the boost to Coon. So that's also something to keep in consideration, that Randy will boost Coon as well with everything else. You see Randy with that whip, he has a pretty decent range on that basic attack. As you can see, he was able to hit New Kid from that far away. But then now you can see that the distraction of the plant, as the opponent here is going to play a Bradley or see, I'm sorry, a Douglas, and you see the Douglas distracted by the plant and then able to be taken out. And you see you can put multiple plants on the field at the same time, but again, unfortunately, the plant will slowly die by losing health if not taking damage. Here's Randy's basic attack again, kind of going at it. The plant kind of goes down, and you can see he will get boosted by Frontier Bradley. However, you saw him use the fireball there. But you can see the basic attack, because he's a fighter card, will obviously take the Bradley buff. Now, the plant doesn't seem to take the buff, just obviously Mary Jane Randy. So that's something to also take into consideration. Don't just assume that the plant will do that as well. But you can see the distractions. Looks like it lasts about a second or two before it goes away. Then it looks like it takes a few seconds to come back as well. The plant will also distract New Kid Zap. You can see the New Kid Zap right there is zapping the plant instead of Captain Diabetes. So that's also a nice little thing that will distract both units and New Kid as well. And we'll watch that if the plant doesn't have it distracting there, you see the Douglas still able to get through, and then it's out of the range of the distraction, so it's still going to hit New Kid and do damage.
The Coon has mastered all forms of combat.
And we'll just sit here, and it looks like we're going to have to cycle all the way to Mary Jane Randy, because they're not in cycle as of yet. Okay, so there's Randy on the other Coon side there. Zero by Craig. Not sure what this one's going to show. There's a distraction for Coon. Okay, it looks like Craig is also distracting, but remember, Coon still has that animation, still going to do all that stuff. You got Human Kite, will be able to obviously defend him. Fireball wipes all that out, however. I don't really know what they were trying to show there. Here we go, showing the distraction. See Mary Jane Randy with the buff. And watching Captain Diabetes easily die. Mysterion dying. I don't know. I think he's going to be a solid card. He doesn't look super overpowered. He definitely looks strong. I think he's going to be he's going to make Superheroes and Adventure be a decent pairing now when you've got a lot of options now for fighter cards with superheroes to do that damage. But you see just the range of that basic attack seems pretty far there. Even with, I get that he gets the Bradley buff, but look at where he is. He's just outside of, he's right at New Kid Zap range with his basic attack speed animation, and that whip has that elongated attack that he's still able to not only hit Dr. Timothy, he's also at the edge of Zap, so he would take Zap damage from New Kid, because this is the Zap damage range here in this circle. So, I mean, like, it doesn't mean that he's outside of Zap range. He's right at the edge of it. But still, the fact that he's able to attack basically almost at complete length of New Kid Zap and still able, with the Bradley buff, to hit New Kid, that's pretty ridiculous. And something that people are going to have to take into consideration with Mary Jane Randy, of being wary of that. So you see, he took the chopper damage, survived it, plant distracts there. See the range of this basic attack, doing that, taking out cargo pretty quick.
It's plant-based.
It's plant-based. Yeah, I think Mary Jane Randy's going to be a good card. I think he's interesting. He's not going to have an AoE attack. It'll just be a regular basic attack. So if someone plays, I mean, it'll be an AoE attack, obviously, if you have Frontier Bradley. But without Frontier Bradley, it won't. But that's just kind of a preview of Mary Jane Randy, so you guys can kind of see him in action. So he's got pretty good range on his basic attack, pretty solid stats overall with the stat scaling, and then of course he's got all that other good stuff with, you know, the plant distraction. It's going to be a temporary distraction, it's not going to be permanent. It does have some good health, so it looks kind of like a tank distraction, obviously, but going to lose health over time. And then, of course, you can have multiple plants on the field, similar to his other summons, where you can have multiple summons on the field. So, a lot of similarities to the other Randys. It still has a summon ability, which we were hoping for. It's a unique card, to say the least. Definitely not something I saw coming, as I'm sure many of you didn't see this card necessarily coming either. But I think Mary Jane Randy is going to be interesting. What do you guys think down in the comments section? Are you guys excited about this new card? As I and many of the other content creators are. He is going to be launched with this weekend event this weekend. This is the card that Red Lynx has been hiding from us, sort of, except it kind of got leaked a little bit. But yeah, there you go. There's Mary Jane Randy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are excited to try this card out, as I am. And I'll definitely be streaming this card probably multiple times during this weekend event, because it's 4 days. But I will see you guys all there. Hope you guys have a good one. And until next time, guys, my name is Druzy.